Oh, Studio Mappa. They have become the biggest buzzword name in the anime game for over like the past 10 years, and they have proven without a doubt when it comes to getting something done brilliantly, they are great at it, whether it is getting Chainsaw Man done or Oblivion Battery or Jujutsu Kaisen or overworking their staff. They seem like they can do it just better than anybody else. But one thing I have found that I don't think they did so well is this movie. I'm talking about Maboroshi. Now, you might be wondering, what the heck is Maboroshi? And I would understand that because I myself haven't heard about this film until like legit a week ago. And when I found out Mappa made it, I had to go check it out and see what I thought. And this film is probably one of the most hard to follow concepts of all time. Here's a rundown of the plot, and I'm going to give this to you as simple as I can because when you watch this film, or if you already have, you will understand that it is not easy to follow. Pretty much, there's a steel town that in this town called Mafuse, and we follow a group of young kids. The movie starts with a bang. Literally, there's an explosion from the steel mill, and then time kind of restarts or pauses. I'm not really sure, but in this new kind of realm that they're in, there's cracks in the sky and a dragon or wolf, smoke wolf demon that everyone is afraid of that swallows people alive and transcends them to some other place. Pretty much the main characters, which is this guy and this girl, end up finding that there's this girl that they have to look after in this steel mill that people are containing there because she is from another world. And they are afraid if they take her outside of this steel mill where the explosion initially happened, that the whole world will then collapse and end. That's essentially the gist of what's going on in this plot. And of course, there's romance and, action here and there. But, I think the thing about it that just is very confusing is you're constantly asking questions, which don't get me wrong, I think is a good thing of wondering if is this purgatory? Is this a parallel world? Are they asleep? Those are good questions to ask. The problem is I don't feel like any of them really ever get answered. Let's talk about Wyatt Good. Now, I think Maboroshi thrives in the same way that every Studio Mappa project thrives on, and that is pretty much when it comes to scenery, they're the goats. The scenery, when it comes to buildings, when it comes to the sky, the water, everything passing while driving through a car is just brilliant. It's so well done. The lighting effects used in the animation is incredible. The character design is impeccable, of course. And I think that there is such a good setup to being something where it's like it could be a bigger plot is amazing, makes you excited to like unveil what's to happen next. There's a lot of like good setups for like heartstring moments with like a loss of like a parent and like people disappearing and love interest or people not feeling the same about you. And so I think if I were to say the good about this film is that I think there was a great setup, like as good a setup as a film, especially an anime film, could give you. Let's talk about Wyatt Bad. Now, I think sadly, I'm gonna have a lot more things to say about why it's bad than good. And I think that's just because it starts off so strong and seems like it's gonna like resolve all these things or give you some like lead or either give you the resolution you're looking for. But the problem with Maboroshi, I think, is that there's so much ambition going into the writing, into the creation of this whole world and all these characters, and maybe this is because they usually make shows, but there just wasn't enough time in this film to kind of flesh out everything that they started. They start with like missing father, they start with uncle trying to accomplish something, they start with a love interest of where we never really find out where it goes, and overall we start finding out about this girl that everyone is kind of fixated on protecting and getting her back to where they think she's supposed to go. If she ever reconnects with the people, they are kind of like giving you the heartstring attachment to think, oh, they should probably go back there and reconnect with them. But you never really find these things out. And it in some ways, I think that can be an artistic decision, but it more so felt like there was just almost too many cooks in the kitchen. Like there was just too many people, you know. Someone was like, hey, we got to make a salmon dinner. Someone's like, well, no, we got to cook some boigas. And it's just like they gave you like a 10-course meal when you were looking for 3, you know? And so I think, honestly, the biggest fault when it comes to talking about Maboroshi as a film is honestly just its ambition and its drive to make something great, which again, I think is a component you need, but they just missed the mark. I didn't cry throughout this movie, and for me, saying I didn't cry throughout an anime, especially an anime film that's condensed, is saying something, because I cry really easily. I cried in A Bug's Life. Okay, that's saying something. And I find it hard that like I felt no emotional attachment to the characters at the end. I didn't feel any resolve or resolution or even like pain, and I didn't feel the emotions I felt like they were wanting you to feel. And I also feel like there wasn't really a ton of present music, which maybe has part to do with it, but there was like some like cool like lo-fi builds here and there, piano scores little by little, but they were just like there was no light shined on the music really at all. And I think especially with anime, the music is extremely important to dictate kind of how an audience is like navigating throughout the story. So who do I think would enjoy this film? I think that the average Studio Mappa enjoyer will not enjoy this film, because I think whatever you're talking about, Jujutsu Kaisen or Oblivion Battery or, you know, Hell's Paradise, Attack on Titan, whatever project it is they've tackled, it does feel like there is kind of a pinpoint moment that makes you really hit you in the feels or wraps something up or gives you something to walk away with, whereas I do feel like Maboroshi doesn't really do that. So I don't think that's the core audience for this. I think if you're just, obviously watch it. If you're interested, go watch it for sure. I think especially if you just appreciate the animation of Mappa, then you will really appreciate this film, because that is stellar as always. And if you're just looking for me, if you do like some like Studio Ghibli films, you might enjoy this. Or if you like something like Suzume, you might really enjoy this, because it kind of does have that journey quality, but it almost has an epic journey quality, like of a Howl's Moving Castle, except that like it doesn't leave, like it's like in such a small confined space, mostly in the steel mill, that it makes it feel kind of lackluster. So yeah, Maboroshi, if I had to rate it out of 10, it's getting a 4 out of 10 for me. Let me know what you think if you've seen it in the comments, and until I got something else to check out or another video, I will see y'all in the future. All right, take care now. Bye.